Hey everybody, Christina Blackfeather here again. Um, Heading back to Witherdriff tonight, just because I tried to get some of the really dull work out of the way before um, going further on these walls here. Um, and I mean lots of dull work. Um, the hole that was down here underneath all this, I actually filled it in. Um, and I've been leveling this out. This was all hilly right in here. Um, I had finally decided to just go and level it out and have the path continue this way. And then where the nobles, the king will be living, or the emperor would be right up here, so that will go upward. Part of the reason that I did this is I noticed I was having a problem with these walls. Castle walls are supposed to be your defenses. And what I was running into is that most of the stuff, if you take a look, is higher than the walls. And, oh, well, it's not rendering. We won't go there, but you can see what I mean. It was going higher than the walls. And of course, once again, I forgot. Oh, F3A. There we go. So if you run into that where stuff isn't rendering, F3A is a wonderful way to redo all the chunks. It just took me a moment to remember it. That was a problem with loading the chunks. So if you're on a PC and you run into that problem, there you go. So anyway, my usual shout out to Dylan and Cody and Gail and my hubby. And yeah, and there was a zombie for you too. Look at that. No, anyway, when you're trying to get something that is kind of partially defensive, I mean, even though this castle is very decorative, um, it it's going to need some measure of defense to it. So having the living area being higher than the walls is not really conducive to a good defense. Now, mind you, there's going to be some level of fantasy here. I'm going to have multiple towers, of course, and the noble section will be high up, but it's still not going to be sticking way above the walls. It's probably, what I'm thinking is the height of the house up here might be like this at the max, so that it's just hinted at from the distance. But everything else I want to have below the walls. So, and I'm talking the roof will be where I'm at here. So that's something that you kind of have to keep in mind with doing this sort of thing, is that these are defenses. And yeah, to just kind of not have it be too exposed. Now I am keeping the little lake that I did here, so this area is going to be a little higher up too. This is kind of going to be another nobleman's house. Of course, there's a tower here as well on this bend is what I'm thinking I'm going to do, or right here. I'm not really sure. Might be both of these, and then have noble's house right in here. And I also plan on making a bonsai tree that is going to be more ice and snow, because very clearly, as you can see, this is a very icy area. Other things I started doing is actually starting out measuring where the wall is going to go on the inside. And it's just laying out a grid again, pretty much. I based it off of the width of this wall here. Now I had to keep in mind that you can see I've got the stone stairs that expand this out further. So really this section here, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. is actually 6. Because, is it 6? No, it is 8. So I did screw it up anyway. Yay! Well, you know, at least I admit it. But I think along here though, this probably is not a bad thing to have this be at 6. Because I want to have more of the living quarters here, where if you look at this is the main gate area right here. So this battlement here being a couple more wider is not a bad thing. So I'm just going to leave it at that and leave all the rest of the dimensions to be 6 all the way around. And those are the things you got to figure out what you're going to do there. Now, where I'm still having an issue is what to do with this main gate wall. Because as you can see, the land is going to go right up to the wall. So having decoration down here is not going to do a whole lot of good. But what we're going to do right now, and I'm just randomly filling this in at this point. This is just to give myself an idea of where to go with this. I will be doing more off-camera work to do more landscaping. The problem I have is I do not have World Edit. I probably should ask Paranor if World Edit actually has been done on this. But I've never ever had luck getting World Edit to work more than an hour. And then commands just stop working. And now it's with previous version of Minecraft, of course. But, you know, kind of gives me a really frustrating idea of it. So, well, again, this is the main wall, though. So if I put nether brick along there instead of the stone, that would work. It's not going to show on the outside, but it definitely is going to show on the inside where guards are. So again, while this is a creative and artsy build, very artistic build, I want a little bit of consistency in it. And you saw me toss the dynamite away. I did dynamite a little bit, but some of the raised areas I've actually been raising up with gravel because it's just easier to make it drop down than to sit there and manually fill everything up. And again, I'm wanting to fill in all the holes because we want to be able to control the monster spawn. All right. Main gate wall, what do we do here? I have determined that I'm going to have another bonsai design right here. So, of course, it is going to narrow things inside of here, which means I may have to change up the carpet a bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this works. It's going to be a very short one, so let's get some glowstone. Oops, I need the regular stone though. Oh, that's gravel. Okay. Glowstone by itself can be kind of annoying after a while. Just because it, you know, you end up seeing it everywhere after a while. That's why I usually like to cover it with glass, but at this point, do I want to cut into the interior of the wall? Decisions, decisions. So let's pick our clays we're going to work with. think I'm going to go with a moss stone. I think maybe an emerald ore. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing here. Brown heart. Well, do we want to do brown or light brown? That's purple, blue, light gray, gray, black. So there really isn't a light brown. Okay, so brown hardened clay it is. Block of diamond, because I still want a little bit of the water look again to carry over from the front side. So I need the greens. I need the lime and the green. And we'll go with this first before I figure out the flower setting. So I'm just experimenting at this point. I want to see what this ends up looking like, if I'm going to be satisfied or not. Again, I'm not doing this with any graph paper. You can do this with graph paper or a paint program, whatever you want to do. But, no, let's not. We are going to have that semblance of the sun right there. Okay. Because I didn't have any more border on these other than the chiseled stone. So I don't have to put a border on this. But this I wanted to look a little bit more grassy this time. We're actually going to make the tree root go into the water. Okay. And my cat just went running off in a weird direction. Oh, she likes to play with bottle caps. So that's what she's doing. Just gonna go up a little bit. Yep, bottle cap. Okay, I'm going to stick a darker green here so that I can put a brown down here. All right, now we're trying not to have supremely heavy branches again. So plant a little bit of the light. Oh, that was green. I thought I did light. Oh, there it is. I found it. It was white though. Yep. It was hiding white there. Hmm. And I think this one I actually might bypass doing the flowers this time. I think what I might try to do is give kind of a landscape type feel. I'm just experimenting. Ignore this. No. So I might just do the sky in here anyway. Okay. So let's try to figure out what the sky is going to actually look like. Now let's see if I take, ended up not using that. How about that? If I go and take the blue stained glass, light blue, not sure, still thinking. Let's see. What generally you end up having happen is if you look at the sky, it's going to be lighter and then go to darker as it gets closer to you. But I think what I'm running into here might be a problem of tone. So just bear with me here. This is something you end up doing. You're like looking at stuff and go, well, is this going to work, or am I going to like this look better? Is this color going to look nicer? And the dark blue is definitely going to look nicer. Whoops. Crapola. By the way, there is a granola that actually is called crapola, and it's supposed to be healthy for you. Don't let the name fool you. It tastes just as bad as the name implies. Just so you know. I'm probably going to get DMCA'd by the people making crapola now. I don't like that. Oh, you know why? Because I did plain stone with everything else, so I need to continue that. I was hoping that I could somehow maybe get the interior to actually look like something. And just no. I forgot that I was going pretty minimalist on the front there. Again, to give the illusion. And it's going to need something more over where the sunlight is. Definitely. And probably the sunlight to carry over here a little bit, because we are going to need to carry some light. So I actually did make that the design is carrying through. So that's okay. So let's do this. Light green. And light green here. And the brown here, brown root, brown root, better. I want the roots to be kind of strong. All right, now one of the things that I had on the front, if you remember, was I had done obsidian with glowstone behind it. Now, of course, I'm not going to be able to do that again because I don't want to cut into the wall on this side. But I can still do it on the sides of the mural above the gate and then carry that down all the way to the ground. But on this side, do I want to go with it being warmer and use nether brick? Because I have a very strong nether brick influence on this side. Let's see. Get the chiseled stone back. Now the reason why I'm doing this in part is to give myself some inspiration again. So I can figure out exactly what it is that I want to do and kind of get some ideas for carrying over to the rest of the wall throughout the complex here. I could go back and finish on the towers, but it's just right now this seems to be where I want to work. So let's do that. Part of this will be not hidden light. Yeah, I think the brown of the nether brick looks okay. I think that looks fine. But what exactly did I do over here? Okay, I made that go all the way. All right. So get the stone brick stairs again. and stone bricks. Just a second. I always seem to be playing Summoner's War while I'm doing these. Stone bricks. Don't need the brown clay anymore. Stone brick stairs. All right. Yeah, I don't want to mess with that. All right, back to my chiseled brick. I think I'm going to change things because I don't like the looks of this. And again, this is just go to the point where you figure out what it is that you actually like. What do you want to see in your little world? Do you want a happy tree right there? You know, channeling Bob Ross. Okay, so this looks good right here, so I'm going to duplicate that on the other side, including down to, oh, I'm having really bad issues with vertigo today. I've just not been myself. Tomorrow I plan on doing another recording of good DeviantArt pieces, just for a change of pace. Oh yeah. Now the other thing I want to do, I think, is I'm going to go with plain gray stone walls here. I'm thinking that might actually look the best with all the detail that I've got everywhere else. Let's see. I don't want to overdo it. And once I get the gray stone in, I can always add textural details later. Yeah. I think that's where I'm going to go with this. You have something beautiful at the main gate, but there's going to be winter gardens inside this castle. So, all right, if you excuse me a moment, I got to check see what's on my stove, how it's doing. Be right back. Okay, food is done. I just got to let it cool down a little bit. So, yeah, that's a good thing. So, yeah, it's looking like along here I'm going to try and keep, you know, that these are fortifications. there has to be some measure of fortification to it. So I'm going to fill some of this in, and then we'll see if I want to make any changes to it. Now this is the front wall, so I could probably repeat that design in a way. Not with the decorative element of the green, the prismatic marine there. I bet I'm off one, aren't I? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm off all right. There we go. Whoops. And then the same here. Good. All right. Not going to be at this too much longer because I do have to work out yet. But it does look like we're getting somewhere with where this wall is going. There's parts of it that are very beautiful, but it's still a little minimalist, and I greatly enjoy this. If I do any more detail, I think it's going to detract from the detail that I already have there. Now we do have that, so I think I'm going to continue this framework along here. Front wall there does have to be, or the interior wall does have to be a little bit of detail in there. And a creeper. Hopefully not. Boy, wouldn't that be a surprise. I actually, on the survival one that I'm playing on with the guys, I took over this village and I've been expanding the village. And I actually have a village idiot now, which I'm really, really happy about. I got 2 of them. And then, you know, I've got a couple of cartographers now and stuff, and I've got like 3 or 4 iron golems. I'm really happy. I like to play around with villages and expanding on them. That's just my thing. So, I turned around and before I got the village to that point, I was just messing around with, you know, trying to expand on some of the buildings and gathering supplies and stuff like that. And the one house next to my workshop actually had the creeper right inside the building. It was one of these large village buildings. And I hadn't, because it was elevated up and didn't have stairs yet, and I hadn't added the back door to iron door to it yet. So now villagers can get inside of it, but they can't, you know, get out of the complex that they're in. But I ended up having a creeper spawn inside the house, and Paranor went walking by, and he's like, you know, you got a creeper in there. I went, what? I got a what? And someday I'm going to have to get my husband on the mic and have him do the Australian creeper voice for you guys. It is the funniest darn thing. I just, it makes me laugh so hard. He should be doing voiceovers for cartoons and stuff. He's just fantastic, and he comes up with the strangest stuff. And so we have the Australian creeper, and of course we got the Louisiana gator, and both those characters just get me going so hard. But it's like if I'm inside a building and a creeper's peeking at me, and he starts having the creeper try and talk to me through the window with an Australian accent. It's just funny, funny, funny. So we'll have to make a day of that, of just he and I. I don't know if we do it through Skype or how we would do that, so that we're both playing on this at the same time, and then he can go along with his comments. We'll figure it out, but it's worth hearing. I could have carried that down actually, but I think that's too much. That's way too much. I don't want to do that. So we're going to just finish up this side before I have to log. This is another shorty. Like I said, I did all the boring work ahead of time. Didn't want to get you guys with that. I'm not exactly consistent on how I place blocks. I just kind of randomly go everywhere here. I was on in live chat on a Brett Keane hangout tonight, but he's doing Skype through the PS4, and of course hard for anybody else to access Skype at that point, to talk. So I was doing that, but I'd wanted to get this video worked on tonight. So, pardon me. That's why I did more landscaping today, because I really, really wanted to work on this video tonight before I go to work. I should have got more Christmas presents done. Although, I was so disappointed, because I am making books for some people that I'm doing presents for. And so, the leather covers, and I'm stitching my own signatures, which is the groups of pages inside a book, for those who don't know. And the leather I'm using is stuff that I actually found at a thrift store. Got a big bag of it. It was samples of leather for fine furniture. And whatever furniture store that donated it, it got bagged up into this big bag, and I bought it for like $1 or $2. I don't even remember. Really nice Italian leathers in there, and I mean real leather, not the stuff that's glued onto fabric on the back. So we're talking an expensive furniture store. So I had to trim it, because they had it kind of like on this kind of like a clipboard type thing or whatever, where they had all the leathers bolted together, and then you could just flip them. Well, so I had to remove that, and then it left great big holes, so I had to shape it a little bit. And I thought, well, I'm going to cut to have this nice little flap on there and everything. And then I went and I cut my pages, and I've got a paper cutter, not a problem there. But when I went to set up the signatures and stitch everything together the other night, I noticed that the pages were too big for the piece of leather, so I couldn't even close this book. So today I had to go and trim the pages down some more. I'm hoping to get 3 books done, maybe 4 before Christmas, but I also have a few needle felting sculptures to do and some other stuff. So, and eventually I will also be selling books, handmade books on Etsy, adding charm bracelets right now, and of course I want to add some needle felting, but you know, and my husband's trying to gain use of his hands back so that we can both work on the chainmail together now that I took up some of it. Because as I said before, he ended up with bromine poisoning, which acts like MS. Well, it took all of his hand strength away. And so for a while, you know, he'd been doing a ton of chainmail and had no problem with it. And all of a sudden, that was it. It was done. So he's still trying to gain strength back. I'm hoping this week, you know, that I can pick up the 12-string guitar again and see if I can get my shoulder over, to get my arm over top of the front of the guitar so I can actually play it. So both of us have some physical issues, you know. Mine's the torn rotator cuff and then a lot of nerve damage. So I have not touched my very nice 12-string guitar in the past year and a half. And I want to play again. So both he and I have some goals, and I'm really hoping, while my guitar playing doesn't affect Etsy at all, him doing chainmail again would make him very, very happy. Just like that zombie is. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I might do some details with lighting along here. I'm not exactly sure yet. I guess we'll figure it out at some point because I don't want to overdo it, but I'd like to have something. You know how like I have the details on the towers. I'm almost thinking I need something, at least on the upper portion. Again, because it's the interior, it doesn't need as much of the fortification. And I don't want it to be kind of like if you've ever watched Attack on Titan, where they have the walls are just strictly fortification only because they're trying to fight the giant human-eating creatures. So, yeah, I don't need to do that here. I want this to be a pleasant, beautiful place. And eventually what's going to happen is that there will be no more zombies. And if I get enough cats in, there will be no more creepers spawning too. All right, I think I got that in the right spot. Looks like it. All right, so we'll repeat this on this side. Now, if you recall, there's been a lot of times that you've seen that I have counted out all these walls and everything ahead of time. So that's something we don't need to worry about. It's just a matter of filling things in. One of my upcoming videos, once I get it done in survival mode, I'm doing a mage tree. I'm modifying one of Grian's designs that he had done a while ago about nether portals. And I actually will be mimicking that portal in creative mode, but it'll show you the process. Of course, I suppose I could switch to survival, but it's a little harder. And if I'm doing a demo video, it will take very long in survival. Because part of the process is actually growing oak trees. And don't exactly want to do a boatload of that. And then having to jump up and down on stacks of dirt and stuff. I mean, it's fine with okay. No, anyway, it's okay with doing it in oh, 'cause I covered that up over there. Oh. Ah. Okay. Okay. All right. Now I gotta make sure on something. Sorry, guys. Love you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's take this out a minute. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 over from that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, I got the count right. So that's where I had done it. All right. We'll fill this section in and then take a step back and look. Kind of funny that the skeletons chime now. Hubby's got a skeleton farm on the survival server, and it's very musical. think it's funny. We were watching Watch Mojo, I think, and they listed the top 10 indie games of all time. And of course, they had, I think, Undertale was number 7. Uh, Five Nights at Freddy's was number 2. Minecraft was number 1. It was fun to see that. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Want part of it to be understated. I like this a lot. A different look from the on the inside, and I'm gonna figure out either some windows along here, maybe something. But a considerably different look than the outside here. I'm very happy with it. And yeah, I still have not finished that tower. So there we go. I'd say that is a good amount of progress for today. Hopefully, I was able to provide you some inspiration. And so yeah, that's it. Until later, blessed be everybody. Have a fantastic night.